We are back with the letter, and I'm pretty sure this will be the last one for Ashton before we get to the last person, the one and only that we all really want to like just off in a Twitch friendly way, Whiskey or Luke himself. So the plan, I have a feeling that the gang is all getting together now. We are getting together and we are going to break this curse. So, I'm hoping I don't get Ashton killed because I will be very sad if I get him killed. But yes, it is time to begin. We are almost completed the letter. I feel like this will be the last stream for Ashton until we get to deal with the bastard himself. I hope you guys are all ready. Let's begin. If the game or I am too loud or too low, let me know. I'll fix it straight away. Thank you.
Hello, motherfucker.
Hello, motherfucker. Hello. Hello, pup. I may have already grown used to this, but the waiting will always be the hardest part, more so when it's the people you care about.
You're up early. I thought you left.
It's not the first time I've seen Isabella like this. Standing casual by the kitchen table, a ladle in hand, keeping an eye out on whatever's stewing on the stove, while humming a soft tune under her breath. 5 years ago, it has become a common sight after the three of them, including Zach and Rebecca, found a mutual interest in cooking. After that, whenever our schedule allow it, one of them will invite everyone to dinner or lunch instead of eating out. Rebecca prefers it that way. Healthier, she claims. Zach's just too happy to be able to cook for everyone. Isabella, on the other hand, as long as there's food, she's happy. Me, I've been banned from the kitchen ever since the pressure cooker incident. Ashton, I feel you. Literally. Easier times, good times. I'm gonna turn down the music just slightly. Right now, however, the scene brings an odd sense of normalcy, a strange fit for all of the things going on around us. The pressure cooker? I think he blew it up or he burnt something, knowing him. Not unwelcome, only bizarre, I suppose. Isabella doesn't follow up on her question earlier, but he does raise an eyebrow my way when I come too long to answer. For that, I only offer a casual shrug in response and a short answer.
I've checked with Zach and Rebecca. I'm just waiting to hear back from them.
In each group of friends, there's going to be 1 to 2 people who are banned from cooking. I am one because I have burnt pasta. That's why I am banned. I'll add in a quid or 2 for her, and the timing for a joke isn't off, or doing so won't be inappropriate. I don't want to alarm her either. There's no reason to, yet. Until Zach gets here, or until we receive an answer from Rebecca, whichever comes first. Nevertheless, it's clear she has plenty of questions. It's right there in the subtle creases between her eyebrows and the inquisitive gleam in her eyes. Curious as she is, though, she decided against voicing all of her questions out. Instead, she shifts her attention back to the stove and gestures vigilantly with her hands in the couch distraction.
Well, if we're going to wait for them, don't stand around there. It's getting distracting.
You're just cooking. How am I distracting?
I don't know. Something might explode again, maybe.
Yep, he explode.
Zach's kitchen ban for you is also in effect here, you know. Now shoo, go. Stop hovering. You'll ruin the food. I'll be done here soon.
She leaves no room for an argument by swatting the ladle at me, and just like that, I've been kicked out of the kitchen. Left with nothing else to do, I drift back into her tiny living space and slump down on the couch. Closing my eyes, I allow the noise from the television to guide my thoughts. The ones I've been keeping at bay, freeing them from the cage I built around them, so I won't have to think. One by one, they trickle down into my consciousness, each more frightening and unnerving than the other. So many things going on. So many things happening. The papers we gotten from BRC doesn't provide any comfort either. Serious, is there even a point to those after last night? What will asking those people to do? If anything, this only proved there might be more copies of that dumb piece of paper. We have one here, but how many exactly is there out there? More importantly, how do we get out of this stupid mess?
Ashton.
Damn it. I haven't felt this kind of bone-weary exhaustion in years.
I don't want to think what might happen next in case I miss something. Shit.
Rebecca, Zach, Isabella.
They're all depending on me and...
Ash!
The voice snaps me out of my thoughts, absurdly wiping away everything running a rocket inside my head. Suddenly, Isabella's crouched in front of me when I cracked an eye open. I haven't even noticed the exact moment when I bent over and buried my head in her hands. Figured why she's staring at me like I've fainted or something. The creases of her eyebrows grow deeper at the lack of my response. The bat plushies, yup. Although she's mercilessly staring at me without saying a word, her expression says everything. I want to steal her. I mean, yeah, I feel like lots of people I know would steal that. So much for trying not to alarm her and bad news.
Sorry, I just spaced out for a moment. Don't mind me.
For a brief moment, he seems to accept that. Quietly, she shifts, stands up, and takes the empty space right next to me. All done without a single comment. Then the next thing I know, she's gently pushing a bowl in my hands. Ooh, what is this? It looks tasty. The scent reaches me first before I gotten the chance to take in what he just handed me. A faint, sweet smell of cocoa wafts from a dish. Calmly comforting, despite the multitude of the things bothering me. It certainly smells like a kind of food you'll eat on a raining day. Though from the get-go, it doesn't look as appetizing. What do you mean? It looks so tasty. What is this even? Porridge? Why would you get chocolate in it and milk drizzled on top? I mean, it looks fucking good. To me, that is a dessert to be happy with. She tells me to taste any... my tastes are weird, yet here she is handling me something equally as strange. In fact, she's already starting to digging in hers. Yeah, I would eat that too. I'm just not sure if it tastes will just equally as appealing. Baffled, I glanced her way. It smells like the kind of food you eat on a rainy day. That is a sentence. Soggy. Yeah. Hi, Alex. I feel like Morgan has just dragged you into the stream. Not gonna lie. I would not be shocked if Morgan's in the chat right now. Ash, you eat ramen. Yep. She offers no I can't read that word. Answer. Simply continues eating as he hasn't done it in a week, with her focus solely on the television. She's not watching, however, just listening, as a background noise. The voice from it seems too cheerful, a welcome distraction, if anything. It's only after she has finished off half of the bowl does she acknowledge the question in my eyes. God damn it, Alex! Tell Morgan to not tell you to put that. God damn! With a sigh, she cradles the dish on her lap and looks down at it briefly. Her lips part, then closes. A hesitation, though I don't push her. that there's a distant air on her as he has remembered something that warrants a porrigent thought. When she speaks, at least, it's a tone too careful, like she's wearing her words, considering the proper phrasing for it. Oh my god. I'm not leaving my table. I'm not leaving the table, or I can't stop that ending part. Yet Cecily undies each syllable once they are out in the open.
You should eat. Back at home, Mama would never let us leave the house if we hadn't eaten breakfast yet. Even Papa has got an earful when he tried. So eat. You'll need it.
She returns to her food afterwards, while I can only stare at the ones he proffered not a few minutes ago. Warm against my hands, tempting me to take a bite. Not that I don't appreciate this, but what good will this do? Zach and Rebecca both are out there. Who knows when that ghost will show up again? Even in our dreams, we're not safe. But that's it, isn't it? We don't know when, and at present, we have a chance to respite. Maybe the only one we have. Even if it's a modern as sharing food between us, quietly, just sitting side by side like this, without exchanging any words. The intent hangs unspoken in the air, something that probably goes as far back as the second he offers food. Still, in the end, Isabella never pushes it. Rather, she let her own silence cover her hope. Take her offer. You take the offer. We're not having a bad ending here. You take the fucking offer.
Thank you.
Yes, you blush, boy. You blush. I'm sorry, Rebecca. We're going for Isabella route. Ashton, it looks so cute. The words roll off my tongue, awkward and unfamiliar, for removed from those jets and quads we shared. Yeah, she accepts this with a smile, and nothing more. Regardless of everything left unsaid, the sight of it brings comfort. More so than any generous offer of food can give. Though we both leapt into silence after it. As we finish our food, there's ease in it. In the muffled sound of Luke's buns fiddling in the room. In the light streaming from her window and the faint draft of currently drifting in, catching the loose tendril of her hair. I'm just gonna get a little drink really quick. Plus, I think Ash and Isabel look... I kind of agree. They do look a lot more better with each other. Like, I can see them getting together. But I think there's an option that you can pick who goes with who. And I feel like the way we are going, I feel like we're making Ash go towards Isabella, and Isabella goes towards Ash. I know we have made Zachary like Hannah, and we made Hannah like Zach. Maureen was very unique. Maureen had a crush on her lost love in the past, but she also said about in her route that she liked Hannah, and she liked Luke because they're both blonde. She has a thing for blondes. So I think there was a route that you could get together with one of them. Like, I know that straight away you could get together with Luke, but I think there's an option of getting together with Hannah. But I failed this because she's dead. Zach don't like Hannah. No, Zach does. With Zach, if we click Zach, Hannah is very liked. So, we are like BFFs with Zachary. Let's go. Hannah really likes Zachary. We made Isabella best friends. Still BFFs with Ashton. Love triangle, yup. Oh god, what have we done here? Maybe that's why she died. We made Luke like her so much. How? No, it's because we kept denying him. We were very businesswoman, and he liked it. I'm very disturbed of how much he liked that. Rebecca, kind of normal. We fixed their friendship with Isabella. Ashton, we're messing with it now. Luke, I don't want to know how he sees everyone. We made Luke like us too much. That's we must die. Yes, we made Luke like us. No, it probably is. If you make Luke like us, we die. Because Luke hated us. Oh, Hannah, we have gone down, but we survived. So, Zachary's like normal. I'm very shocked by that. Oh, he fucking went all the way up. He died because we liked him. Went down. Oh, fucking Ashton. I don't think Ashton will ever go up. God damn. We found out the curse of how we die. If we get Luke to like us, we die. And the light streaming from her... Oh, we already read that. And the other way, her voice flattens when she tries to form words. And despite the horror looming over us, I find myself wishing for the minutes to slow, for a second to last. But unlimited, she's the only one who breaks it, softly after a minute pause, in words mumbled under her breath. Sometimes silence simply compels us to speak.
I've been wondering, before last night, before Mama told me the news, what if Papa passes away, despite everything? That sort of thing. I know it's not good to think about, but I also knew it was getting worse. Mama won't say anything, but I've always known that one day, he'll eventually...
She releases a sigh as he grips on the bowl she still holds tight, and there's no tears, but she might as well have them with how weak her voice falls. Are there even any left?
I don't know what I'm going to do. Before, I can easily say it's because of Papa. Now, I don't have anything.
You have that scholarship from LuxU.
Were you going through my personal papers while I was sleeping last night?
See.
I don't really have to. You left it sitting in the open, right there on the table.
Like there's still anything to hide. She snatches it away from where I placed it back earlier. Except there's no anger or annoyance in her face when she looks at it and rereads every line with a pensive expression. After a short while, she folds it neatly along the creases and set it back.
I don't even know if this will work out.
Well, if it doesn't, what about that exhibit you've been planning with Zach?
Do I even have to ask where you got that?
Zach sucks at lying. You have no idea how easy he is to read. It was all in his face when I asked about it. And anyway, if that doesn't pan out too.
I try a lot of hesitating, measuring the weight of my next words. General as they are, a part of me believes that there's a burden too heavy to impose upon her. Because no matter how much I want her to stay, we are not what ties her here. It'll be selfish to ask that for her. More than anything, her family will always come first. I say it nevertheless. It's only to let her know that no matter what her choice will be, there will be people here who lives her mere presence has changed. Mine most of all.
You.
Oh, are you gonna confess?
You have us.
Are we gonna confess? Come here. The words startled her to a pause, and slowly she turns to me, her eyes wide, disbelief all over her face. But before regret focuses a sorry up on my throat, her expression devolves to something I can't quite place. Oh, Rebecca's still having a fucking chase scene right here. something distantly softens, more tender, familiar, almost in the same manner as he glanced at me years ago, that day at the bridge. However, I don't get the chance to figure out what it all means for her. All of a sudden, a knock breaks the moment. Just as fast, both of our attention shifts towards the source. Before things can get awkward fast, I stand up to open the door while muttering some flaming excuse in the process.
I'll get that. It's probably Zach or Rebecca.
Really, I know we're in a pinch, but their timing can't get any worse. Unrelated, frustration aside, once I fling the door open, a whole chunk of the stone that has been stuck in the pit of my stomach immediately unseats itself. There in the hallway stands Zach, his hand raised, ready for another knock. Although he's not at his most presentable at the moment, ruffled and drenched with sweat as he is, relief quickly washes over me like a tide. He's still panting when he pushes me aside and heads in. The second his feet crosses their hold, he scans the place, eyeing what little he can see of the room from the doorway. When finds once... Sorry, I got distracted for a second. When find none of whatever he's looking for, he turns to me with a questioning look, one that has a hint of panic in it.
You said it was urgent. Did anything happen? Is it Becca? Bella?
Everyone's fine. Well, Becca's not here. She went somewhere this morning and hasn't answered any of my calls yet. But Isabella's...
I'm here, Zach. Morning.
His weight shifts at the same time the stiff line in his shoulders eases once Isabella walks up to us and welcomes him with a smile. He relaxes then, returns her greeting in kind. As soon as he lets go of the breath he was been holding, and the tension finally offed his body.
So, nothing's wrong? Why'd you call me here for then?
My explanation can wait. He has a lot of explaining to do. The fact that he went to Asylum alone, for some God-forsaken reason, warrants a proper one. Ghost or not, he's already been given a warning. It frustrates me to no end this might be the plan he mentioned the last time we spoke. I get that he's worried about Hannah Wright. Somehow they become friends, but that's not the issue here. Not when there's a murderous ghost who might go after one of us at any given moment. Sure, Zach made it here in one piece by some dumb luck. He's alright, and it takes one off the list of people I need to worry about. Frankly, as annoyed as I am, I can't just stay angry at him when I look at the situation that way. Hell, if that call didn't connect in the exact minute, there might have been a chance he won't be standing here. This is a blessing in itself. You promise you won't do anything stupid. You're okay. Okay. We're gonna say you're okay because we don't want to start a fight right here. This sounds like, oh, I told you not to be stupid. We're gonna be a good friend, be like, you're okay. Yeah. Except when I open my mouth, the only thing that spills from it is my own relief. Despite myself, despite the regulation part of my brain screaming everything wrong about Zach's neat little plan. We had so many close calls with him just a single night. Zach showing up in Isabella's doorstep, alive, whole, and unharmed. I might as well take comfort in that while I still can.
You're okay.
You did tell me not to do anything stupid.
Yeah, you didn't do anything stupid. Suddenly the whole room feels too heavy and all I am able to do is drop down on the couch. A headache also threatens to burst in the same moment, or perhaps this is what releases from anxiety feels like. Regardless, I reach up a hand to pinch the bridge of my nose, even if it's likely to do nothing to alert to the pleading pain.
Christ, you were right there! We have this stupid curse thing going on, and you were right there! You just walked up inside a private property!
Oh, he still yells at him.
Those people can easily sue you for breaking and entering, and that's the least of it.
Yeah, we kind of did when we played as Zach. We did go through the door. But then I got very upset because he got hit by the butler and was sent to prison, and I did not want to continue that role, that gameplay. So I did my only redo, but I'm not redoing anymore. That's why when McCall died, I did not redo it, as we already used our redo with Zach here.
I know, Ash. But I can't just leave things as they are. I've got to do something.
God damn it, Zach, I was worried.
Unexpectedly, he laughs. Not the half-hearted sort he makes when he's awkward or coming up with an excuse. A general one. Before my annoyance grows again, I snap at him, though he suddenly catches me in a headlock, his arms looping around my neck while he grinds his knuckles against my skull. Helpless, I squirrel under his grip in protest. Even then, it's hard to do when you're up against a 6-footer.
Zach!
Oh my god, this is such a big brother and small brother thing.
Aw, he's worried. Why didn't you say so? That cool act ain't gonna fool me anymore.
Aww.
Let go!
I love it. He relents soon enough, though, only after he's done impel damage in my head. I hate it when he does that. Best friends activities are literally... If I did that to any of my friends, I would have a punch to the stomach. But for a few moments there, and the tense mood finally lightens up, and everything felt like how it used to be before this whole mess began. Makes appreciating little moments like this easier. Still.
Seriously, Zach. Why are you even there?
Told you already. I was looking for you.
Why would I even go there?
Well, you mentioned a plan with Isabella here. I assume that's where you guys went, since that's where she found the letter. Sorry. I was really at a dead end.
The logic in it stuns me into silence, to say at least. Then I remember his hesitant, the tone he had taken before agreeing to go here, and all at once my anger from what he's done wanes. Oh. I think this is all the choices getting all together. Oh, this is adorable. I love it.
You could have called me.
I did.
I didn't receive any, and my phone was with me.
You're kidding, right? I was at it the whole night.
The whole afterthoughts in the room changes in 2 heartbeats. Back again in the tension-riddled one plaguing us. Zachary stares at me like I've grown another head, then grandiloquently he shifts his attention to Isabella. The expression in her eyes questioning, asking for confirmation, like my word can't be trusted, not that I'm holding it against him. I can't even believe the things coming out of my mouth those past few hours. Meanwhile, Isabella stays quiet, has been like that for quite some time. She's been like that, wants to disappear right now. Guilt, frustration, anger, fear, all of flashes fleeting across her face before it melts away under the expression of worry.
Please tell me he's joking. You were there?
No, we really didn't get any. Everything was quiet last night. But Zach, at BRC, Ashton and I saw...
She never gets to finish that.
Sup, I'm Ash from the
Let's go!
Baggers, watch out.
Absurdly, my phone rings again, blasting its badly sang ringtone for out the whole room. Both of them pauses, waiting when I pull out to check their caller ID.
It's Becca. I'll tell her to get here as soon as she can. Excuse me.
Without another word, I slip out of the room and answer the call. However, the tone she assumes isn't what I'm hoping to hear.
Ashton, are you there?
Ragged, a bit out of hot breath, there's a tingle of urgency in it. Listening to her from the side of the line makes it seem like she's been just ran a mantra through to this call.
Becca, where?
I got your message. What happened?
Nothing. Yet? Where are you?
Downtown. I had to make a quick visit to the library.
Please tell me you didn't... Whatever. Save it for later. I'm at Salem Well. If you can get here as soon as possible, that'd be really great. This is related to that.
You're there? Is Isabella with you?
Yeah, Zach too.
With a quick press of the button, I switched on the loudspeaker and stepped into the Isabella apartment. I hold out the phone towards the two, giving it 2 shakes, urging them to speak. Both are still carrying worried looks on their faces. This should ease that.
Rebecca's asking for you two.
Becca? Is she okay? Hey, Becca!
Hello, Rebecca. Odd morning we're having, eh?
Hey, you two. What's happening over there? Is this something I should be worried about?
We'll tell you once you get here. Please, hurry.
I don't like the sound of that, Ash. But I'm on my way. Give me a few minutes. I'm driving.
She mumbles a goodbye, then hangs up. Becca, the last person I need to account for, yet that call left an even more stained tension in the room. Becca's there, nothing to worry about yet. Yup. I mean, we almost killed Becca last time. Well, I mean, we basically killed everyone in each minigame now. Thankfully, we don't have to linger in that too long. She only takes a matter of minutes to get here, and the second she steps into the room, Isabella clings to her.
I'm so glad you're okay. Ashton checked on you this morning, but...
He did? I'm sorry. I was in a hurry. I didn't have time to drop by and let you know.
It doesn't matter. What's important is you're here.
Not Bert to Chris or brutally murder somewhere. I don't think you would kill anyone. I don't think you would kill anyone. Nope. I'm not trying to kill anyone. But I already killed McCall. And I'm hoping to kill Luke. Whole alive, although she seems a bit shaken, it doesn't really matter in grand screams of things. At least now I can relax, ease the pressure off my shoulders, if only by some. But the minute Isabella pulls away from her, she whinges. A small reaction, the younger woman doesn't even catch it. It sets a prudence for a careful observation, nevertheless. A close-up look at her receiver, much more dashlier than usual. Hair's a bit of a mess, probably flattered in a hurry, and the back of her dress also shows a stain of dirt in places rarely gets into. She also leaning more on her left arm. She's right-handed. Perhaps the most telling is the slight limp she has, noticeable once Isabella leads her into the room. It all squats a hateful question. What exactly happened, and how has he ended up in that state? Pretty much a simple trip to the library won't do that. I grab her arm before she can walk past, carefully to avoid hurting her in case there really is an injury. Seems like it at first glance, but you can't be sure until after a careful look has been made. I suspect some bruising at least. Although minor intel fractions are out of the equation, they have a nasty way of staying hidden. Sure enough, Becca tenses immediately upon contact. Tries to pull back, although the sudden gesture only enlightens another whines, forcing her and Isabel to halt. Both of them turns to me, almost at the same time, their eyes searching mine for answer. Rebecca, for her part, doesn't appear quite pleased with the interruption. For the fact someone has brought it to light. Are you alright? Please tell me you didn't do it. Are you alright?
Are you okay? You're limping.
As expected, she tries to hide it. This time, when she swirls in my grasp, it's with enough force she's almost stumbled back if Zach hasn't cut her by the elbow. Each with 2 more people shooting her concerned looks, she wolfs and shrugs it off.
It's fine. I just had a little accident.
Little accident, hard to believe when her other arm nursing the support fine arm. Isabella doesn't buy any of it either.
In a library?
Well, yeah. It kinda caught me off guard.
Something's happened there, hasn't it?
I don't have to elaboration on the question further. Suddenly she goes very, very still and had the the hand placed over her right arm shifts ever so slightly, its grips on the limbs tightening. Not too firm to her, but just enough for a gesture to comfort for herself. Warily, she casts a glance at everyone in the room, but only the one she spares for Isabella lingers longer, and in that moment something unspoken passes between them. An understanding. It strikes me seconds later how unfamiliar her expression is. It's the same one I've seen far too many times in Isabella. Since that day at the movies house, every time her attempts to warn us have been so rudely dismissed.
Let me see.
Can we? We have to check if it's bad.
Rebecca hesitates for a moment. Then, after a minute of consideration, she sighs and reaches for a turn of her sleeve, raises just enough for Isabella to take a good look at it. Not swollen, but a large portion of her skin started to turn an ugly shade of purple.
Oh, that is gonna be one hell of a nasty bruise.
Tell me about it. It was a library cart that hit me. You know, the old metal ones they keep near the history section.
Ouch! Like I said, nasty.
But she's there? She went after you. Yeah, I was in the archives, looking something up. Suddenly, she was just there. Belle, she was using my own students against me. What kind of terrible person does that? Oh, it makes my blood boil.
You should have just ran. That woman's not something you can hit with a book.
She did hit with a book!
Laugh it up, Ashton. I did. Then the bloody cart came out of nowhere. And you know what? If it weren't for a damn book, I would be dead by now.
Yup. Silent distance in the room as the gravity of that one word hits all of us. Dead. Another close call, another would have. Another one we never avoided. How long can we keep this up? Not long, because we're about to finish soon in this. We only have 2 more days. We're bound to break at one point. No normal humans being with a sane mind can last like this. It's a miracle Isabella hasn't cracked yet. After all, she was the one who found the letter. I've expected her to have carved in by now, yet her voice, calm and composed in the face of this, it's what cuts through the thick air.
I'll go get a cold compress for that arm. You guys take a seat first. Ashton and I, we have a lot of things to talk about.
That marks the end of it. At least that's for the time being. And as soon as Isabella returns the hands Rebecca the cold compost she promised, she gets straight down to business. Surprisingly easy, considering the rigor air in the room. Although there's some tense fumbling for words at first, the whole conversation gains steam once what happened last night at BRC has been put on the table. All at once, everything we brushed off, casually ignored, and rudely dismissed had been laid out for close security. Zach's encounters with the woman and his dreams, Rebecca's close brushes with death every time she appears, the dread and the fear of the terror she brings out even in the bravest of us. Everything. Because no matter how bleak this it seems, there must be still a way out of this. There has to be. Logic be damned. Or at least that's what Isabella and I would have to believe. The pictures near the bed. Yeah, it's all there, all together. Yet, even in the cold morning light shifts to the warm hues of late afternoon, the virtually night, none of this still makes a fucking damn sense. Darkness has fallen, but we're still nowhere near figuring things out. If anything, we're more at loss than we ever been before we even started this. The next thing I know, frustration rear its ugly head, and the sheets of paper I've been holding smacks the table harder than I've intended. The sound of it echoes loudly in the small room, and everyone simply falls silent. Along with it, I release another long-held breath. Perhaps the 100th since this morning.
We aren't getting anywhere at this rate.
Don't just drop it. There must be something in this we aren't seeing yet.
It's an odd thing to hear from her. The very words I've been telling myself every single time I find myself facing a dead end. We can use a little of a opposition right now, I guess.
I know, but what are we supposed to be looking at here in the first place?
Well, we already looked through those files. You're the one that picked them out last night, right?
All of them? I'm pretty sure every person we've checked in there isn't necessarily involved. One client possibly died of old age. Remember, you found that dumb paper.
Not so dumb if it can kill all of us.
Yeah.
Very funny, Z-Man. Anyway, like I said, you discovered that paper right before the open house. No one else was allowed inside during that time. It's too broad of a scope if we include every single person. In fact, the only notable ones are C and Jean Marie.
But we're going to include them in the count. Shouldn't there be more than enough people to end this fucking curse already? How does this thing even work?
Yeah, okay. They went in and out of this place. But no, you still don't get it. What I'm trying to say about those clients is...
Maybe there's more than one of it. Even my friend, the priest from the cathedral. He's been acting strangely.
Father Norman? Him too?
Yeah, we fucking cursed him too.
Yeah, I visited him a few days ago. He was hysterical. They think he's sick, but I have a feeling what might the real cause be.
I knew it. I shouldn't have asked for his help.
He was only trying to help too. It's not your fault. There might be more than one of that paper going around that we don't know about. I mean, look at all this stuff Rebecca brought with her. Apparently our teachers have been lying to us all these years. So who knows?
Hey, now don't blame us. Blame the bloody books they wrote.
Quietly, Isabella reaches for one of the paper Rebecca has brought with her and carefully inspects the words imprinted on the page. A copy of an old newspaper from even before the city has been founded. Her eyes narrows with each line it passes, but lingers at the illustration of the noble woman's servant.
Why do they have to keep this in the restricted section?
Rebecca mercilessly shrugs at her enclosure, but her own annoyance sleeps through her answer.
How should I know? I wasn't even aware we have archives that go as far back as this. This is before the city was even founded. As a matter of fact, if it weren't for Andrew's help, I wouldn't have gotten my hands on any of it. Maybe they didn't think it would be important to talk about it. After all, this is more Anselm's than ours.
That or some old bugger's hiding something.
Why else would they tell a completely different story? Reversing what written seems a useless inventory on its own when you have nothing to gain from it. Thanks to those, we're also missing a lot of things here. All we have to go with is the mansion, the letter, and all the stuff selfish people have been keeping from the public. But what else? Somehow, even with all this information in hand, it still feels like there's something we're overlooking. A present. Everything seems to point to where this all started. The Emerald Mansion. Will bringing the letter back there fix everything? Fuck. How do I... The mansion's a private property now. Can't just what's in there. I'd rather die before I even think of begging rights to let me in and investigate the place. One thing very clear after those last 2 days, however, we're not safe anywhere, and I have to act fast if I want to keep my own friends alive. We can't keep running away. Sooner or later, they'll get us. Before that happens, I have to put an end to this. Sighing, I stand up and stretch out my my kinks in my back. After several hours of sitting, we've been at this for too long. A break is needed, time to let everyone to sink in, or else we'll all burn out. I know I will, and it's another thing I cannot let happen when we're all counting on me like this. A bolt unspoken, it's in their eyes as they all look at me waiting.
We've been at this since morning. We should take a break for a few...
Oh, fuck. The rest of it never makes out of my mouth as something heavy and grunting sounds from the far end of the room. Fuck, it's here. A harsh booming noise rending through the eardrums of everyone in the room. All at once, the three of us are on their feet, while I quickly palm for a gun on my table. However, before I can pull it up and remove the safety, the whole racket stops. Stillness decards in the room, and immediately the sudden hush of the four of us exchange anxious glance. So much for a break.
Ashton, that might be.
Gather everything.
Yep, the ghost is here. No question asked, they waste no time getting to work, piling up the documents we've been reading through. Even Isabella, unusually silent as she gathers everything in her arms, her own movements sharp and precise, a deep furrow in her eyebrows. There's fear, but something hardens and urgently overshadows it. But the moment doesn't last. Before we can even finish, another noise ups the tension already gripping the place. Fuck me. Suddenly the lights go out and the wardrobe at the end of the room rattles, as if something inside begs for freedom. Well, it's in the closet. It's time to leave. Curiosity, eyes glued to it, I take a step forward and release the lock from my gun. Oh my god, Ash is gonna shoot her. I'm no trigger-happy person. I'm not even sure if this will work on a ghost. But right now, its smooth surface against my palm with the trigger in my finger provides the closest thing I'll have to relief as I approach the closet.
Ashton, what are you doing?
Literally, Isabella is me. Just, what the fuck are you doing? Let's go.
I don't think that's a good idea. We should just...
Yeah, we should leave. Worried as they are, they immediately stop at the sight raise of my hand. But the edge is there, and they all huddle in the space between the door and the room. In case this goes south, whenever I find inside, they'll have enough time to space to run from their position. Oh my god. Ashton is taking the hit for them all. Oh, fuck me. In 2 deep breaths, I crossed the room and stood in front of the closet. Whatever oh my god, fuck me. Whatever's inside has yet to stop thrashing. Instead, it has now moved to banging at the door, louder and louder, and the bit longer I dolly. Gonna have a little drink before I panic scream. Okay. We're fine. Another shallow breath. Okay, we got this, everyone. Prepare yourself. Glance at my companions. A nod. Something creaks. Then, in the next moment, I'm grasping at the handle and swinging the door wide open to receive nothing. What the fuck? Right away, I pop the clothes hanging on it, and it's still none. I don't like this. No ghost. No woman. What the fuck? Not a single trace or whoever inside. Confused, I glance back towards the companion, only to see them mirroring the same expression on my face. The noise has finally stopped, but I'm not quite sure if it is my imagination. Or maybe it is, and I'm just too stung up in that head now and making things up. Whatever the case is, we need to get out of here as soon as possible. This only confirms we aren't safe anywhere. Without bothering too close to it, I move back, ready to leave, a low line now coursing through every vein of my body. In the next second, I'm breaking all orders and... oh, fuck.
We should go. Everyone, we need to...
oh, God.
Ah!
Ah! I've spent sprawling on the back as something cold catches... oh, no! It catches at my ankle and yonks. Oh, fuck. She's under the bed. The resulting force knocks the wind out of me. Pain racks the whole spine and the back of my head as it collides against the floor with force enough to dislodge my own brain for the skull. A moment lasts before stars fade from my vision, and then I sense it. We're going to Grandmom! cold tendril twisting against my ankles, the smell of vile rot assaulting my nose, not-sizzling, sickening. A foul smell, draining every feeling of my body. The moment her horrid laughter, still as unpleasant, the versus as last time I heard it, reaches my ears, my eyes snap open. I don't think you want to look, dude. Oh, hell no! You back the fuck off. Well, perhaps it's just inexperience. Or maybe my mind's still attempting to comprehend this. Regardless, the minute my eyes land on her, the whole of my body freezes. The gun in my hand turns useless as my grip on it slackens. It's in the manner her gaze bores on me. I'll say the look of utter hatred and malice I've seen it loads of times. From suspects, mostly murderers, who never regretted their actions despite being caught. This is the face of someone you can no longer reason with. Hi, ma'am. Would you like the holy salt? Yes. And I know for the moment he laughs again and starts dragging me towards her, it's already going to be the...
Ashton, snap out of it!
Literally, Isabella, snap your boy out of it. Oh god. No. I can't die here. Not yet. Oh god. Is there a minigame? The haze fades from my mind and instant kicks in then and there.
Everyone out! Get out! Get out of here!
With one powerful tug, I yank my foot out of her grip and scramble back to my feet, ignoring the piercing wails he fills the room with. With the span of a second, I'm gunning for the door, grabbing the wrist of the first person my hand can reach, leading everyone out. Into the hallway. Motherfucker, I can't snap out of it. Motherfucker, I can't snap out of it if I am going to really die, literally. Down the flight of steps and right inside my car. I waste no time flooring on the gas pedal the second the last person closes the door behind them, and in a short while I'm driving us out of Selmwell. I don't even entertain that thought of winding down just yet. Even as the last of the woman's painful cries fade into the night. Oh god. We made it. We survived. Is it going to be a picture of Ashton here with the woman? No, just a closet. A daily downpour starts off the Monday. Although it doesn't last for more than an hour, the dark clouds lifts just above the sun, peaks over the horizon. Brief as it is, the rain has sinfully dampened the park's usually cheery vibe. Morning like this often marks the start of another bad week. An arrest gone wrong, another investigation leading to a dead end, or some truly fucked up shit being called in. Like the one time I was dispatched to a scene where a guy gouged his own eyeball out and almost ate it. Was a few chews away from swallowing. In fact, lost my dinner that day.
Fun times.
Curse, I doubt anything can stop getting cursed by a damn chain letter of all things. This is the sort of stupid things people pass along as a prank, the emails and text messaging for fuck's sakes. A ghost chasing after you just puts the icing on the cake. So far, we all done is run, snoop about, read stuff, and run again. It frustrates me to no end. Now we're no longer close to the answer. Even my car reflects the state of my mind is now. Photocopies of documents little every available surface, scattered all over the place, spilling from the passenger's side and into the back seat, making an entire mess of what little space there is. Not that I'm any better. My last shower was 24 hours ago. I haven't slept at all, and my last meal was that chocolate porridge thing Isabella offered. The way I am now, I'm definitely getting a scolding. Rebecca will definitely give me an earful and tell me to take care of myself better. Say that I'm killing myself on the job. I can already hear... I'm getting so many story updates. Jesus. I can already hear Isabella complaining how dog the bags under my eyes are getting, and about how I reek and how I need a shower pronto.
I can rest easy when this is all over.
It's not that I can't feel the pang of the hunger, but the woman chasing after you, it's difficult not to feel anything other than horror. The rush of adrenaline coursing through my veins in the desperation to survive. In fact, I can still sense the ghost of her touch from last night. Her bony girt wound tightly around my ankle and that horrid smile he has on her as he pulls me closer. The memory enough sends a shiver up my spine and makes me angsty. Perhaps the only thing comforting about this is the sight of my gun nearby. From the dashboard, sunlight glints off a peculiar surface. Normally, I keep it hidden in compartments. Luxembourg's police regulation only allows unfortunately people to carry firearms, and even those are limited. I do not have that unfortunately, but I never will saw the need for its use when the standard issue tenses are more than good enough to incapable anyone. If not, I can always throw them on their back. Those John Doe lectures Dad forces me to get as a kid has its uses too. On a ghost though, all those will probably yield the same result. They're all useless as might as well use a stick. However, it's the feeling of ease I'm after, or whatever little of it I can gather from it. The awareness that I am, at least have something to protect myself with in case things go wrong. That I can still protect the people who are still depending on me despite the missteps I've taken. It doesn't take the edge off though. The feeling that your whole body has been stained far beyond its capacity. Frankly, I'm already running out of steam. God damn, so many story updates. The only thing pushing me right now is knowing someone's still depending on me. A stretch is still in order though. I've been sitting here since last night. Soon I stepped out of my car, closing it behind me with a thump as I take my surroundings. The rain did wonders. The morning air feels crispy and cooler than it has ever been in days. For once, the weather seems to be taking its turn for a normal. Luxembourg's normal in the distance beyond the building lining the horizon. Dark clouds are blowing in.
A storm might be due this evening, give or take.
A shame for the people looking forward to Halloween tonight. I'm just not sure whether this is something I can look forward to as well. Still, I bask in the change it brings. Inhale and exhale. Breathing in, taking in that peace as it'll be the last. But as with all the good things, the quiet shortly comes to an end. Not necessarily as a bad end. The chatter reaches my ears first, halting my movement. Sure enough, when I glance up, I find them, Zach, Rebecca, Isabella, just as they entered the park grounds, bags and convention store food in hand. After last night's fight from Selwell, we encountered to stay the night here, unsure if our homes are safe. Normally we'd be deserted to the idea of spending the night outside like this, but panic and distress has tainted that decision. It's not like any of us have gotten an ounce of sleep anywhere. On and off chances one of us did. It's only lasted about a second or a fitful one. But looking at them right now, from afar, it's easy to mistake them for just a group of friends on a day out. Isabella gestures widely with her arms as he talks. Something funny or amusing probably, because it's soon followed by Zach's blooming laughter and Rebecca's giggles. Their voices fill the amphitheaters with light air. temporarily easing off their disheartened mood. It's easy to pretend we're not keen deep in the life and death situation the way they're acting now. If anything, it's more their appearance that betrays that mask. Slightly dishovered bags under their eyes and exhausted curve in their shoulders and dragging footsteps. But the closer they get, the more obvious those signs are to the naked eyes. Zax tosses an injury drink my way the moment the distance allows it. Isabella hands me the other bag she's holding before seating herself on the edge of the fountains. The scent of the warm food immediately wafts the bag when I open it. I carry further by passing breeze. Whatever sweat sauce they drizzle over this pork wannabe, it smells heavenly. Hell, even the sorry-looking vegetable seems appetizing. Despite myself, even without checking exactly what this is, hunger swiftly takes over every ration full. I dig in without waiting for them to start. The rest of them appears to be in the same line too. Soon enough, they're also the start with theirs. No casual talk where we fill our empty stomachs. Exhausted as we are, food is something we can't forget. Starvation dulls the thinking, weakens the body. If we are to survive this, we are going to have to take care of ourselves first. In the matter of minutes, we're done and dumping an empty carton of nearby waste bin. Along with it is a shift in the mood. Back in the dismal, back in the problem at hand. The comfortable afterthought a minute ago was nice while it lasted, admittedly. I've missed those kind of moments between us. We never had the chance, always busy on some project or work. The things we've taken for granted, now we realize how vulnerable they are. The world has an awful sense of humour. While the only one we had is a short-lived, it's another thing I want to look forward to. If we ever free ourselves from this damn curse, I like to believe that way. For now, I have to focus back to the present. This. Dead people. The letter. The curse. It's not simple to bring those up, but naturally.
What now? Where do we go from here?
It's not a question distracted at anyone in particular, but they all look at me as if my face has all the answers in the world. I used to think so. But when I was at the top of my game, and I'm still sure of everything, now there's just certainly sully whatever decision I come up with. At some point, logic has simply stopped working here, and we're starting grasping at straws. Along with exhaustion, figure, and stress, we have enough kindling to get a fire burning. The not so pleasant kind of fire.
Well, first, we can't just stay here. That much is obvious.
But we can't just keep running like this either, Becca. Sooner or later, she'll...
As if we have a choice. We can't even go back to our own homes because that thing might get us. Nowhere's safe. But dying is the last thing I want to do right now, Isabella. Not to a stupid chain letter you were too gullible to pick up, bring with you, and show to everyone.
I didn't do it on purpose. Becca, had I known, I wouldn't have...
Hey, you two. None of us want to die to this. Just calm down. We ain't getting anywhere shouting at each other.
Whose side are you on, Zachary?
No one's. But we can't just say it's her fault. She did warn us not to open it, and both you and Ashton...
That doesn't exempt her from any blame. She's still largely responsible for it.
Literally, Rebecca started this fight without, we all had a nice meal, we're not talking, and then boom, Rebecca's like, it's all your fault, bitch.
And you're not?
Are we gonna die if we don't get rid of the damn ghost? We need to get rid of the damn ghost.
I didn't say that! Do you really think I don't blame myself for this as well?
I tried to warn all of you. None of you listened. Now you're blaming me for something I kept telling you guys since day one? You're just as responsible for this as I am.
So now, You're throwing it back at us. We wouldn't even be having this problem if you're...
Will you two cut it out? This ain't the place for I don't know, petty squabbles.
If you don't want to get caught in it, then stay out of this, Zachary.
Oh my god, don't talk to Zachary like that.
Oh no, Zach. Don't stop her. Let her say it. I'm sure she has plenty more to say. If I didn't know any better, she's already.
Already what? You want me to say it? Out loud? That I find you in this whole thing?
Uh-oh.
All right, that's enough.
Oh, Ashton!
Everyone, shut up.
They all fluttered to silence at my words in an awkward shifting mood discards between us. I do not mean to shout, snap at them, to add to that kinding. Not a moment, not any time, anywhere, she might get one of us. We're all the same boat, yet here we are playing the blame game. Little by little, we're falling apart, carving into the pressure to the bleak situation we're trapped in. Okie dokie, thank you for staying by. I hope you have an amazing day, pup. I hope to see you next time. Anything's possible now in her kind of exist. God damn it, pup. With that fire burning between us, raising as high as it does now, I'm afraid. Definitely afraid that the possibility might come sooner than I can figure out all of this. Fuck, I still can't think straight. I can't even believe the next words coming out of my own mouth that out of everyone, I have to be the one saying those to them. This is the more their fault than mine, keeping the peace, courting everyone while intently aggressive people with badly chosen words. Funny how fast the tables have turned after one unfortunate incident. How am I even supposed to cope?
If we all want to get out of this mess in one piece, we're gonna have to cool our heads first.
Before my own temper flies, I walk back away and slide back into my car. It's a new day. As the door slams with one more force than needed, I like to blame it on the pent-up anger boiling up in me. I'm not even sure what or who I'm angry at. The ghosts, at them, or maybe at myself when being this useless. Because despite all of them saying it, I know, I goddamn know it. They're still counting on me. In spite of my failures, of every harsh word I've uttered, how unbearable I can be as a friend. Is there the tension that the argument finally breaks? The one by one, they follow me and get in the car. It's in concerned glances they shoot my way when I stop the engine without a word and drive off. In their silence, a heavy gift, their unwavering trust. Yet, it's one I'm willing to carry, even through my own exhaustion, if only to keep them safe. In this city of 68,000 strangers, they are the only ones I have left. Although in all seriousness, a good rest is still our best bet for now. Thinking with an exhausted brain, it's almost as good as running around in circles. We might as well just throw ourselves at that ghost and be done with it. The local Irish pub may not be the best place to hang around when one hasn't slept in a wink, but you're stressed more often than not. It's loud. Sometimes the music plays the drunken's grade. The ears of the whole place smells like piss on a bad day. All in all, it's a very chain of the last place I've hung around after a waking night, but it's safe. But as safe as it can be with G security watching the place makes it easy to find help in case you find yourself in a tight spot. The place being owned by a person I practically placed my trust on provides some balance of comfort too. Gregor, bartender G, or just G in his regular partons, might be rough around the edges. Sometimes a bit too gruff for the man serving drinks behind the counter, but he belongs to the good folks of this city. If there's anyone in this place I can rely on to look after people important to me, it's probably him. He means well, surprisingly, despite his surely demandness care to some extent. For people he likely only sees once or twice a week or on a bad day. Not the best job in the world, in my opinion, but that's exactly it, isn't it? In wine, there is truth. Alcohol in this case. It loosens the tongue, forces one to let his or her guard down, wherever inhibition anyone has. It all flies straight out the window after a few glasses. It has made him observant too, always has one or two things to say about someone or something. Most of the time it's me, a person asked. But God knows how many times I've asked for his help when I'm met with a dead end in the case or I'm in trouble. This time no different. As expected, the moment we show up, he's kind enough to offer us a room at the back of his shop. A single look at his face, I don't even need to look anything. The next thing I know, he's leading us in. No questions asked. Maybe it's also for the reason why I find myself drifting towards his station hours later, after having gotten that much needed shut-eye. Newly washed drinking glasses and trumbull line of the counter service when I enter the room. Behind the bar, G's working, wiping each of them clean, likely preparing it for tonight's uses. Briefly, he glances up at me once I claim one of the empty stall and grab a rock glass sitting closely to my elbow. Turning it absently-mindedly in my palm, just to keep my hands occupied while my brain busy, still trying to make sense of everything. Even at the dead hour, with only a few parton miling about, this place still smells strongly of liquor. Honestly, I've never grown fond of it. Regardless of how many times I've made a trip or sat here on the same spot just talking to the old man. I've never been fond of drinking in the first place, yet oddly it's a nasty odour of brewery that helps clear the mind this time. Along with the lack of the accomplishment, usually hub, and the crushing clinking of the glasses, even more bizarre to that, through my lack of words, G doesn't say anything. Although it's clear from the way his mouth has carved into a tight frown that he has questions, a bucket load of it, he whiskey keeps it shut. Instead, he simply focuses back on his work, rinses and wipes, stash away, repeat, going through the motion with such familiar, it's almost a trance. Watching his persistent movement quietly like this, it's those thoughts swimming inside my head, it's easy to lose track of everything around me. One solid lead on this, one possible way of sort this out, but will it work? Especially if my assumption correct and that the reason Zach was there yesterday morning was because of the curse. Something must have happened there. For him to see the neat in the visit, the place that morning. What if the couple has fallen victim to the curse too? It doesn't fall outside the realm of possibility. I've been so basis, not even thinking that they might be in danger as well. But during the open house with Isabella, they might have seen the letter and... fuck.
Stupid. Some fucking detective I am.
That likely the moment when Cooper saw it. If the logic holds, I need to hurry there right away. And if there are answers anywhere, I would be there. It would be there, where it all fucking mess started. If not only my life on the line here, there are others. What happened to us? I won't wish for anyone else, no matter how much I loved them. Or how accomplished all of this has suddenly become. The letter, the woman, the mansion, and now there are voices lacing convention inside every curve in my head. Murmur, that jeer, scoff, and deride. Whenever the opportunity presents itself.
It's because you didn't listen.
Oh, hello.
It's all your fault.
Oh, hello.
Why won't you believe me?
A reminder of what I failed to do and who I failed. At some point, they all begin to blur together, twirling and coiling, every horrid image and memory of her, seeking the forefront of my mind. No matter how much I refuse to remember the fear I felt then, the push it has far back as I can, the vision came to me like a deluge, and before I know it, before I can drown, another voice pulls me out of it.
You doing good there, boy?
His hand is on my shoulder, gripping it tightly and giving me a light shake. There's a relief in his face when I finally look at him, although his frown appears more distant than the concern in his eyes. It's deepened now, married with a worry and inquiration. He does let it go when I offer him a small nod, but the furrow between his eyebrows never leaves his face. He always has a knack for reading people, after all, even someone who can be closed off or distant like me. In all the time I've spent in the forces, there's only one other person who as keen as this old guy, the shift. Funny and weird to some degree. I pointed it out to him so many times before how much they look alike. Only for the absorption to be brushed off with a normal tone. I've never brought it up again after the third time out of the respect for the guy. Whatever it is, it's clear of something he doesn't want to talk about. Why push, right? However, during times like this, it's impossible for the thought not to come up. He's even has the glance down pat. Under the wordless security, I feel like a damn rookie again.
You're looking a bit green. Sure you got plenty of rest back there? You were only out for an hour or two. Wouldn't hurt to try and get some sleep. I'll keep an eye out.
No need. Don't worry about me. I won't be able to get some sleep anyway.
Not with her face still clear picture in my head, no.
I heard that from you before. Not buying it. What's the story this time? This as bad as that case with the guy who ate his own eyeball?
Oh god.
I wish it were. Jesus, stop reminding me. I hated that case. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you get a kick out of telling people about it.
It's useful, you know, for blokes who don't know their limits. Sends them right out the door after I start with a description. Or was it the part when the poor schmuck gouged his eyes out?
Oh god.
Nasty, awful, icky stuff, and it gets the job done. Like I said, useful. Don't even need to call security these days if I want to kick someone out. Anyway, pretty sure that pales in comparison to whatever this is now. I haven't seen you this stressed out since they closed that case. The one from 10 years ago with your professor friend.
Abigail and her team weren't able to solve that one, G. No one has been able to. It just went cold.
Same difference. But what do I know, eh? I just serve drinks, listen to people's problems and their whining, then make sure they get home safe afterwards. Thing is, I'm also not blind, kiddo. And you can bet your ass I can tell when a person's about to fall apart.
What? Is this some form of therapy from you?
Yes.
Are you going to offer me free drinks now?
Yes. Really, I can use some right now. Something to numb the senses. But when has that helped anyone?
In your dreams, kid. Last time someone gave you the hard stuff, your photographer friend had to haul you out of this place almost half naked.
Hey, I can handle my liquor when I put my mind to it.
Not from what I've seen, nope. Besides, you usually avoid drinking. Either way, it's out of the equation. And when booze no longer counts, we just talk. So, talk. It's not like anyone within earshot will care. That chap over there only wants his cricket matches.
I doubt you believe it, G.
I've heard worse stuff. Try.
You know that mansion down at Anslem?
Yeah, who doesn't? You live in this town long enough, it's impossible not to hear a thing or two about it. Bloody locals.
Well, my friend found a primitive version of a chain letter in there. Now that we've seen it, we're cursed.
A beat passes. For a long moment, G stands there unmoving. His hand stops short. While placing the glass he's been wiping Puria back to the rack he had left. All while he stares at me with eyes that are nothing short of scrutinizing. He probably amused I'm joking. Who wouldn't? Not a week ago, I'd been put to the same position. Even now, in spite of things I've seen and heard, it simply won't sink in. Or maybe this is just desperation creeping in. The idea that I may not be able to find way out of this. Whatever the case is, for people who haven't experienced what I'm going through, this merely sounds like an awful Halloween prank.
It's not a prank.
This must have been what Isabella felt the whole time we made fun of her that day.
This isn't a prank. something.
Now it's too late. We're stuck in a never-ending nightmare where the only way out might be death. And like I expected, G's reaction to it, an amused lighten. It blooms throughout the whole pub after a long bout of silence, like I've told him probably a funny joke. Nope.
Okay. Good one, kid. You don't want to spill. No one's forcing you. Seriously, though. Good one.
Although I want to be angry with him, I can't find it in myself, even mustered the energy for a scowl or a glare. Nothing but a taste of my own medicine to temper the annoyance bubbling up in me, I suppose. In the end, echoing her words is the best thing I can do.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, all right. Good luck with that. You're on your own. Here I thought you didn't have an ounce of humor in that body. Guess I'm wrong.
He shakes his head. He lets out another chuckle before returning to his task. By now, almost half the glasses have been put away. The only one remains of the smallest kind, used for shots and stimmer one for cocktails. Despite being busy with his task, the amusement does not entirely disappear from his face. He keeps talking as if there's simply another customer he entertained with his stories. But we both know it's more than that. It's a witful expression of him says anything.
Man, can't believe you're the same rookie who walked in here almost a decade ago. Too smart for his own good, that boy. Has always been 2 steps ahead of things. Now he's here, sulking.
I must have screwed up somewhere then.
I must have screwed up a lot. For things to suddenly shift like this, for me to become more shadow of the person I used to be.
No, I don't think so. This one, screwed up? Not by a mile. It's too early to say. You've still got several years ahead of you, Holmes. Take it easy. But some things change, eh? It has been years, and you were a kid back then. You know, the sort that's a bit unsure, making all the horrible decisions in life he'd eventually be embarrassed to talk about.
You never stopped calling me kid, though.
Well, you still are. It's just that this time, you're sure of who that badge and gun is for. What was it you police types usually say? To protect and serve, yeah?
A significant pause followed at it heel from both of us as he allows it to meaning to sink in, spells something in me, stirring a feeling both heavy and forceful, but not a completely unwelcome. Familiar. Though, before I can even classify what he's trying to imply or gather my thoughts on the matter, G turns away to begin his work on the silverware. He'll need those too once more of his partners comes in for lunch. Slow and easy, a sharp contrast with the strained air we've been wading through those past weeks. A fleeting moment, but one I allow myself to releash. If only because it's absent lately the way things are now, this is almost a gift. So when it ends with a loud shifting of the foot from an obstruct hallway, a sigh is all that can leave me. There's no need for me to look up to know who it is. Zach's trend alone are telling me there's always a weight set to them. Steps are taken with a lazy confidence. Like he's always trying to make himself smaller, less conspicuous than he actually is. In a place he's unfamiliar with, he also tends to linger, stand awkward at the side as he's all too afraid to break something. That or he's waiting for permission of some kind. Either way, he's never been that kind of barrel head first into things or forget cautionary despite appearances. Much like Rebecca Mother Henning beliefs, her furry temperament, or Isabella rare displays of maturity, appears at odd with her youth. There has been a lot of those in my life. It seems more so from the people I've grown closer to over the years. Walking distinction, we all are. It's a wonder how we ended up as friends in the first place. But maybe that's also exactly why, to some extent, there is still understanding in there, in knowing that no matter how long you've been together, or how unfamiliar you are with a person's habit, or how many lifetimes there might be for all of you, Once can never fully know a person. Sometimes it'll work because they merely chose to stay. Sometimes it's simply as someone extended a hand first for a sorry, regards of every hurtful word said.
Hey. Hey, Ash?
This time I glanced at him, briefly gauging the mood. Not because of recollection an issue for me, between us it never will be, but somehow this is another thing I'm too afraid to see scrumble in front of me. One wrong word is going to be the end in another argument. We might as well stop as early as now. There's another long pause for him, during which he can't seem to figure it out what to do with his hands. And then he chooses to stuff both his pockets and strained his eyes at the now empty space behind the counter. Without notice, G has slipped back into the kitchen, leaving only the two of us, everything awkward in the world in the moment. Still, Zach chuggingly on, a hopeful tone slipping in his voice, simply because of it's the only thing he knows what to do.
Did you, get any sleep?
It's a start at least, a stiff one, but a start. The least I can offer in return is that rare, honestly.
For a few hours, yeah.
Court Brooke, not an oath of friendliness in it. In spite of it, Zach takes it as sign. Relief washes over him as his shoulders relax and he releases a tense breath. Soon he's closing the distance as he puts between us and flops on the chair to my right.
I think the better question is if the dreams are pleasant. And for the record, no.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I get those a lot.
He shifts his seat, coughs, drums his fingers on the counter for a short while, then falls silence. That's it. No sorry. Somehow, that short exchange is all we need. The air changes again, much like everything we've known lately. Maybe not for the better, not yet. However, it's less suffocating, with less hostility and resentment. The kind where it's easy to pretend, easy to forget. Not that it's the thing that matters anytime soon, but one can dream. In the situation where deaths might come knocking any time, those little hope we cling to. It's the little thing we wish will happen again. It's not an optimistic person by nature. Hopefully, maybe, but never optimistic. Though, I want to believe that there's a way. I skipped that by mistake. Bleh. It's just funny how it took all this to spur some kind of thoughts to me. I don't even remember the last time something like this has occurred to me. For some reason, after seeing the one Halloween thing after another, I've simply forgotten.
Why are you suddenly smiling like that?
Huh? Oh, no, I was just thinking about something.
Well, it better be something that'll get us out of this mess.
What makes you think I know how to fix this? Until 2 days ago, I didn't even believe a word you guys have been telling me. Zach, I function better when I'm dealing with homicide cases. Hell, feel free to throw in the usual robbery and missing persons case into the mix. I don't care. Give me a few days and I'll give you a lead. This isn't how I operate. This isn't what I'm good at. For all you know, I might even end up getting us killed. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, the fact that you're frustrated but still trying already means something, Ash. Besides, you don't make that face unless you already have an idea. It can't be any worse than this. Maybe. What's on your mind, Ash?
There really is something about Z-Man. Between Becca and him, I tend to share with him things I won't normally say to the others. Unlike her, who pushes something with the same temptation as her mood, Zach has this strange tendency to ease people into telling him what he wants to know. Other times, the question feels so subtle, it catches me off guard with less force and more forbearance. After all, out of everyone, he's the most grounded. Really, he's like the older brother I never had, the kind you can depend on when things go sour. The kind you tell things to simply because he'll listen without forcing his own opinion on you.
We still have one more lead we haven't checked. I'm gonna look into it tonight.
It doesn't take him long to put two to two together, and his calm expression absurdly dissolved to the worry in the second he realized what I meant. We already examined the letter, read through the pile of documents. There's really only one thing we haven't giving it a once over the mansion. Of course, Zach may not be the kind to push, but that doesn't mean he agrees with everything that comes out of my mouth. It's his way of keeping me steady on my feet through the years.
Hold on, didn't you tell me not to go in there? Whatever happened to stay away from Luke Wright?
You're an unarmed civilian, Zach.
And so?
So, I want you to stay here and keep yourself safe. I probably won't take too long, but I don't know what might happen. I'm not even sure if I'll find something in there. G will keep an eye on you guys. If you need anything, if that woman shows up, just holler. He'll help out, no questions asked. You don't even need to explain anything.
He will not willing to concede, not from the manner he grips his knees and the rigid set of his jaws.
I'm going with you. You can't go in there alone, Ash. I heard something. The morning I was there, I heard someone scream and then there was a woman crying, and I don't know what's going on inside that mansion, but I am telling you, you shouldn't face whatever's inside alone.
Before I can stop myself, a heavy breath escapes my mouth. It's one of those times ago when Zach means well, but he's completely missing the point I'm trying to make. When things take a turn to this, when he gets in the mood like this, it's almost as if headstrong as Isabella. You'll only get in the way. I'll feel better if I don't have to worry. That is just rude. I'm gonna say I'll feel better if I don't have to worry about you. Okay, he liked that. Okay, good. There's only two ways this will end. I agree with him, take him with me, or I agree with him and drop the idea together. Neither appears more than the other, especially when we're all desperate for answers and way out. If all it takes for more honestly to make him drop this more brain idea, so be it.
Look, man. Bro. Z-Man. Zach. Zachary, listen. I know you only want to help.
Like hell! This ain't just about helping,
Oh,
Ashton.
God.
You're throwing yourself in the thick of it, on your own! Was your fall last night really that bad? Did you hit your head hard?
Yes.
I honestly can't tell if you've gone stupid or just plain suicidal.
My head's okay, Zach. But it won't stay that way if we don't do anything about this. Someone has to.
Seriously, this is already a desperate move. The longer we dally, the faster we're losing our options. Do we even have one? Looking back at it, this whole business with the ghost seems perfectly set up to drive us into the corner. Either until we lose our minds or she'll get us. It's starting to feel as if there isn't an escape. We already become her playthings. The second Isabella found that letter, that our lives are in her hands, ticks me off big time. But the idea of watching people I care about die helplessly, more so. They're much safer here than with me. It's a selfish thought, I know, born out of fear. So in case things are wary, the very last thing I want to happen is for Zach to take all the fall with me. I've already made enough mistakes.
And that means it's just you.
Just me.
Suddenly he calms it up. Although his actions, the restless shifts in his shoulder, his mouth pressing close in a tight line, and how he starts off again is in a quiet tone. It all gives away his real thoughts long before two words have even made it out of his mouth.
I'm sure you already know about this. Maybe this is you trying to make amends, or whatever. I don't know. You're making your own decisions here. But if something happens to you, it'll be just that. You'll just be another dead body out there. Please, don't do something like this.
Don't worry. I'm not stupid enough to get myself killed.
A lot of people have said that, and they have died, or I have got them killed, and the game said, yeah, you can redo it.
I just want things to go back to normal, Zach.
Another dead air follows the heel of that one and misses. The meaning of my words too heavy, too striking, it stuns us into another lull. Misses aside, we're both aware that's impossible. We're going to have to deal with the trauma right after. There will be the images, the voices whispering inside our heads, the foreboding feeling. The stench of blood, gore, and death trailing after us. We may survive this, but those things, they will remain in us for a very long time. One does not survive something like this without it leaving something in you. Just the mere thought of what might come right after makes me dread it. What this has changed in all of us. But I suppose the outcome is more accessible the less of the two evils.
3 hours.
My head snaps up and turns to him puzzled. He's staring at his hands with a thoughtful expression, brows furrowed in deep concentration, like he's trying to choose the right words to convey what he's about to say.
3 hours? For what?
That's more than enough time to go there, to check things, like you said, and travel back here. If you don't show up here beyond that, I'm going after you.
Oh. From his tone, it sounded almost like a warning. I'm sure it's not his intention. But hearing something like that from a person like that, I can't help but chuckle and throw a jab, despite how dire things are. But just like old times.
Make that 4.
What? You said you're just gonna check things. Why would you even need that long?
Speed limit? I'm a ranked law enforcement officer, Zach. I'm supposed to set an example.
Ah!
I so wanna punch you right now.
Of course, Zach never carries it out though. It lights moments like this. It's just how he is, how we are. Unfortunately, G chooses the next moment to show up. He slams the flat of his palm on the counter and shooting us both a stern look. Although his tone is nothing short of jolly, there is a spoilful clear he obviously misunderstanding the situation.
Boys, drummer's nice and all. I used to watch these bloody god-awful afternoon serials with one of my brothers many, many years ago. But listen, I am not having one in my pub, all right? You two want to fight? Go out.
A pregnant pause. Then, without any prompting, Zach and I both knickers and G glowing melt into confusion. When we both saw no sign of stopping, he simply shakes his head and turns away. It's like to think it's better this way, better than we are like terms, so Zach won't have to see every little insecurity, every little doubt in me right now. Ah, adorable. He's seen enough. The last thing I want him to glimpse is another display of weakness. Not when he still stares at me with the same inuring confidence in his eyes. When our mirth dies down, before anything can be said further, before I change my mind, I step away from them. Giving Zach's shoulder a quick few pats, mumbling a lame excuse about taking another short nap under my breath. Altogether bearing the stray thought that flashes feeling in my head. Zach has seen me at my lowest plenty of times. Why does all of it matter now? The sun hangs lower when I stumble back into consciousness and drags myself downstairs. Around this time, the party usually starts to trickle into the main lounge until it reaches a peak around the midnight. Today, however, it remains thin. But considering the day it isn't too worrisome for the kind of business G runs. He always complains about the lack of distant crowds on the week starts, although he doesn't really budget the customers for it. No one wants to start the week with a bad cause of the hangover after all, even him. Which makes him concerned look he gives me comes off a bit too odd. With the kind of danger we're in, this swiftly puts me on the edge, even before sleep completely fades from my mind.
Something wrong, G?
G hums, but there is an undertone of annoyance in it despite his casual and open movement. Only after he finishes wiping a trouble and carefully settle it face down on the table does he give me an answer. The way he stares back at me honestly makes me squirrel. It feels like I'm being stared down by my probable school teacher for sleeping in class again.
Nothing much. Monday's still a slow day for this place. But you might want to check on your friends, kid. Looks like one of them woke up on the wrong side of the bed while you were out.
Another question forms in my head along with a small confusion frown. Although before a single syllable slips past my mouth, Rebecca's instrument voice rings out from some part of the main lounge. From the sound of it, it appears woke up on the wrong side of the bed is a completely understatement.
Alone? You know we can't just go in there.
But we don't have any other choice, Becca. There's really no other way. We
Oh,
have to
God.
go there. If you'll just
Isabella, no.
That doesn't sound too comforting. Once Rebecca removes that kind of tone, his argument with Isabella is usually end with them walking out of both giving the other the silent treatment. It lasts about a week almost. It's really bad, which really isn't what we need right now. I've hoped the bad blood from the mornings will simply blow over after all of us has gotten a decent rest. I should have expected things won't be the same with them as it is with Zach and I. Turns out sleep isn't just what some of us need. Even G appears to understand it. In spite of his effort to look as unconcerned as possible, there's a tense set on his shoulders. A nervous edge lingers in his eyes as a caution flickers over where Rebecca and Isabella voices are coming from. He doesn't want to deal with this, especially at the start of another busy week. Neither do I. Things have worked out well between us before without Zach and I meddling. But the impassioned gaze G directs at me leaves me with no other choice. It almost feels like he's guilting me into doing something about it. I hate that it's working.
You know how I run this pub, kid. No fist fights, no cat fights, only good booze, bad puns, and off-key singing. Go fix it before it blows up in your faces. I'd hate to throw two girls out of this place over a petty argument.
It's probably not as easy as Rebecca already shouting like that, but I'll give him a nod, nevertheless.
Sorry about this, G.
He hums something under his breath for the answer and waves me off, turning away and returning his work without another word. Even with the lack of a sizable crowd, he likes to keep busy. We're the same in that regard. Can't remain still, always has to stay moving. Doing something, thinking, whatever keeps the brain at work. I'll leave him to it shortly after. Rebecca's voice rings out once again, followed by Isabella's. But part of me wants to thank him for the trouble he has taken for people he barely even know. Once this is over, I should probably find some way. In the meantime, I have this intermittent problem to fix. Gotta get this before it turns into a shitstorm both of them will regret. And I know both of them will. For all of Isabella's complaints about Rebecca's bossy attitude, or how annoying Rebecca sometimes finds the other child like Demona, it's a friendship they both cherish to their own way. Am I gonna pick to side with someone? Rebecca is already on her feet when I spot them in an almost deserted area in the pub. I'm willing to bet my entire life savings that people are staying away only because of the brewing storm. Rebecca can have quite the mood when she's cross. I can't speak for Isabella. I rarely ever see her searching, but when I've heard, it can be very unpleasant. The way she's glancing at the red hair from the seat, regardless of how much of the other woman towers over her right now, already says everything. Empty plates have been left neatly piled on one corner of the table. They are conversation have turned sour sometime after late lunch then. Good thing they already done and nothing left to be spilled. Oh! Because in the next moment, before I can approach and interfere, Rebecca slams her palm on the table. It sends a silverware clinking sharply against the surface. Isabella flinches momentarily, we both do, although she shows no indication of surrendering in the face of Rebecca's temper. Everything escalates from there.
You've already gotten us in enough trouble because of this let a ghost everything.
Oh my god, Rebecca.
You're blaming me again. And you can't expect everyone to fix your mess. You keep on putting the blame on me, but you're the one who didn't listen. All of you. If you just listened in the first place, maybe this wouldn't have happened. But you're too busy acting like you know what's best for everyone, when in fact you're the one who's being selfish. I'm the one who's selfish. Yet you're still going to do what you want anyway, even if the people around you are already beside themselves with worry. This is how you've always acted since we met, and I'm tired of it. Sometimes I wish you never even came here.
Oh my
all you've given us is
god.
a headache. You know why I had to come here. My dad! Your dad has nothing to do with this! It has always been you and your whiny, careless self that has always been the problem.
Maybe I should have stepped in earlier. Maybe I should have said something in the moment Rebecca had slammed the flat on her hand on the table, or the second I've entered the area. Either way, it's too late to act. Harsh words have already been hurled between the two. God damn. Did I start that? Love it. Friendship to argument. Love it. Words more cutting than my blade. Every one is digging a wound too deep in the person they've been aimed at. For a long time, Isabella sits there in silence while Rebecca stands on moving arms crossed and breathing heavy. Despite the lack of words between them, they're both vibrating with anger, refusing to meet the other eye. Ever so slowly, the foe in the room turned thick and smothering. A stained air, no one in the mid, including me, dares to break until one of its center does so. Rebecca definitely won't at some point in the friendship. She has grown to become a woman firm with her oppositions. She's never going to back down from this, not when she knows she has a point. Isabella, on the other hand, there has always been a certain stubbornness in her, and frustrating as it is to see sometimes, it's what has gotten her through life hardships. Perhaps even the only thing that has, when you have nothing else, people tend to cling on what they have in themselves instead. But she also knows when to redraw, when a struggle turns useless. A kind of awareness, almost second nature, into her. When enough is enough, Isabella drops her stance and marched towards the exit. In fast and rigid steps away from the hunt and painful words they have let fly earlier. She bumps into me in her haste, the impact nearly knocking her off her feet. Instant kicks in at the last moment. I reach out for her, grabbing her arm in the steady grip. Surprise flitter across her face, an expression mirrored by Rebecca's behind her. Neither of them have noticed me. Oh God! I knew I had to pick a side. Okay. They both have good points, but Rebecca she has said some really, really harsh words, so I don't agree. Like, I agree, going to the place is dangerous, but that is literally what Ashton is already going to do anyway. So I think I'm gonna go for Isabella's side.
You okay?
Yeah. Rather than answer, once her shock subsides, Simile averts her gaze and hastily wipes the tear off her cheeks, like she only notices them in the moment. Then, without another word or even meeting my eyes again, she gently brushes up my hands and runs off, leaving an awkward hush in her wake. Rebecca soon slumps in the chair Isabella has just left, gingerly reaching up and presses the bridge of her nose and breathing out a ragged inhale. Arguments like this have always drained both of her patience and energy, usually more than her roundy students do, despite being no stranger to it. It's no excuse for her to say those things, though, and my disapproval must be clear enough on my face. When she finally glances back at me, her exhaustion immediately shifts back to annoyance, her mouth carving down into a tight frown. I cross my arms in response, waiting for a reaction verbally on instant in the face of her annoyance. Regardless of my opinion to this, I don't say anything yet, not until she's the one willing to talk. Another minute passes, though. We stare at each other again. Eventually, she breathes out again and relaxes her rigid posture.
What do you want, Ash? If you have something to say, just tell me, or I'm going back upstairs.
Did you really have to say it like that?
Well, how do you want me to answer her? Do you want me to just let her go there and do what she wants? I know you won't be too happy if I did that.
That's a low blow, Rebecca. Even for you. We all know she wasn't even planning on staying here this long. There was no need to bring it up if all you wanted to do was stop her.
Did you even see how she's acting? She's not a child anymore. Even my students can do better.
Becca, she'll listen if you'll just ask her properly. I know you mean well and you do have a point. But please be a little more thoughtful next time. Go think about it for a while.
By some miracle, the whole discussion ends right there. Rebecca literally stays silent, at least it's how it seems when a minute or two passes and she says nothing. A rare occurrence when she almost always has something on her mind. Only an uneasy afterthought hangs in the air when I finally decide to remove myself from the room. She doesn't stop me. Instead, something in expression flickers momentarily in her eyes, one that quickly disappears until only a virginal notion of it remains in a memory. But in that one exchange, I've caught a short, clear glimpse of what it has shifted of what's inevitable. So much has changed throughout the years. We will never be the same person we once were, and if it's for the better, we're yet to know. A lull has discarded in the main lounge once I returned. G's nowhere to be seen. People continue to trickle out inside instead of in, and by the time I get back, only 2 tables remains occupied. Soon those people too will be gone, and those whole place will be divide of anyone. Frankly, its current state already lends the place an entire different vibe. Along with the smoothering strum of strings and the steady beat of the drums playing overhead, there's a calming sense to this. Far cry from the times I've been here before. Perhaps it's the time. Perhaps this is this reason why Isabella has chosen this place to retreat. She sits quietly in the further corner of the room, in one of the tables set aside beside the window. G usually keeps the curtain closed around this hour, but the small portion of it has been pulled back, relieving the busy streets outside. The late afternoon light spills right through it, outlining her small frown and pulling on the surface of the table where both her arms rest. In her hands, she flips a piece of folded paper, turning it from one side to another without any purpose. The letter. A small frown creases her forehead when she stares at it, yet there's nothing oddly tranquil in the picture she has unknowingly painted. Something I can't bring myself to disturb. It's only for a few seconds. It's one of those moments again. The rare ones. The one when she's still too quiet. The complete opposite of her usual self. But it's there that often leaves a mark. Not her cheery disposition of her lively attitude, but their short few seconds of wordless silence, when the softness sigh and the silentness movement sings louder. The smallest miracle things that tells you about the person, her strengths more than the words can express. It's those that carve a memory, no matter how brief it lasts. She glanced at me annoyed, and just like that, all of it melts away. Gone is the stillness, replaced quickly by a teasing and friendly jabs. Back again to where we used to, what's easy, what familiar, where every truth we hoped to cover, regrettable, goes unsaid between us.
You're going to destroy an important piece of evidence if you keep doing that, Belle.
But she's far from angry. A bit upset maybe, but who wouldn't be? While I do agree with Becca, her words still hit below the belt. Regardless, Isabella doesn't seem like she's shouting at me, at least compared to every other person I've ever rated, intentionally or otherwise. Some light talk may just do the trick and coax her out of this mood.
Come on. If you keep staring at the table like that, you're going to bore a hole on it. I really don't want to OG a new table. He'll pick the most expensive one and leave me begging on the streets.
She levels a quick glance at me, her expression dry and impulsive enough to drain every colour out of the room. It's as if I just told her a terrible joke and is expecting there to be more of it. Really now, she needs to give me more credit than that. My jokes are funny when I want them to be.
And I really don't care. I'd even take pictures and post them online. Go away, Ash. I don't want to talk right now.
Yeah, it sounds half-hearted at best. Like what's happening has already snapped every bit of energy in her, and all that's left are the words. Pretty soon those two will lose their meaning and leave a hollow shell in their wake. It's already unusual to see her like this. Everything has already gone to shit. I like to at least this one thing to stay normal. So somehow imagined. We continued for the better half of the hour, talking, joking with her short, feeble response and banter that never goes anywhere. But it's enough. In the grand scrims of things, amidst the chaos and death shadowing over us, it's those little encouragement moments that matter. It's her smile, her laughter, when it finally rings. Easy and free for her burdens.
Okay, I have another one.
I don't want to hear it, Ashton. Go away.
No, really, listen. I know someone who talks like an owl.
Will you leave me alone if I bite and ask who?
A pause. And then she frowns and realizing slowly dawns on her, confusion flashing fleeting across her face before in turn letting on a glance.
Oh.
Suddenly she hugs her arms closer to herself and looks away, perhaps in her best attempts to stay angry. To no avail. In a matter of seconds, her shoulders shakes with laughter and she's trying to contain.
You're awful and I really hate you. Just leave.
It's contortion, her myths. Soon I'm joining her in it, briefly forgetting every problem that has piled up and continue to weigh down on us. Laughing without resolution or care until only a familiar warmth lingers, once both our amusement ebble away. Somehow with her, those things have always come easy.
Feeling better?
A little. You're still lame.
But you're laughing right now.
No.
Only because your humor is terrible.
Right. Keep telling yourself that. I know it's funny. And you know what? If you've kept frowning like that, your face might have cracked. That would have been really messy and ugly.
If Glex can kill with the ones he sends my way, I'll probably be dead right by now. Seeing it distracted my way, it only takes a few quick seconds for me to realize how she might have also taken my statement. How wrong and rude it might have sounded in her ears, however understandable it is. I've never been good with words, and that's never an acceptable excuse, is it? Suddenly taking the brunt of her anger seems less complicated than correcting or explaining myself. Nevertheless, I try.
What? Crap. Damn it, that was so not what I meant. I was just saying you look better when you're smiling.
Oh, he's so cute. Her glance doesn't even wench. In fact, I think it intensified like a brewing storm. In the face of it, under the sharpness of her stare and her annoyance, I do what any person with a good sense of self-preservation does. Keep my mouth shut and shifts my attention elsewhere. The crowd outside looks very interesting today. Maybe I should.
Thanks, Ash.
Oh. She utters out in a voice too small, too quiet. But when I turn to her, only those words, her attitude, reason turned throughout the whole room. Not the soft clicking of silverware somewhere, not the last stern of music fading into the silence above us. Instead, it's the meaning between her gaze and she holds mine that lingers. Steady, unflinching, and open, in the same way she looks at me all those years ago, with bright eyes and the expression of softening into a tender smile. I don't understand it then. How easy is it for her to wear her heart on her sleeve when she never shies away from expressing herself, even among people she barely knows? How can she go through everything without losing herself? Now it's among the hundred and the thousands that hangs unspoken between us, trivial little things that were still too big to put into words. Even because it's too early or because there's never really a proper time. For now, though, this do. Until the moment itself dwelled, until the reality pulls us back in, reminding us of the things we set aside in its favor.
Isabella, about what happened with Rebecca earlier.
I should probably apologize to Becca. I know she only means well. And I said some really bad things.
She said some bad things too. The corner of her mouth quicks up, almost as if she's too ashamed of the things he said.
Don't worry. She can be pretty stubborn, but she'll listen. Especially to you.
You think?
Because Zach won't be with us anymore.
What? Excuse me? I don't think that was meant to be the voice line. What? Zach won't be with us? What? Wait, I'm so confused. Wait, Zach won't be with us? Was that a glitch? I think that was a glitch. I think that was another storyline about Zach not being with us.
She won't stay angry for long. I can vouch
Oh, it's
for
back to normal now. That actually gave me goosebumps, not gonna lie, because his voice changed. So sad. See, has a point though. Isabella freezes in an instant. The pleasant air around us dissipates. She shifts her attention back to her hands again, both clenched so tightly that her knuckles visible pale.
I know, Ash. I just thought we'd find something in there. That if I go back, we'll get the answers we need. I found the letter there, so maybe...
If not that, I don't agree with her. Well, hell, I've been considering the same thing. It's the only lead we have after all. But Rebecca also has a point. I will always agree with that. No matter how desperate I am, it's not going to be a simple walk in the park. Who knows what we might find in there. If she comes with me, I won't be able to guarantee her safety. She'll be in even more greater danger. Hence, alone. Exactly as I told Zach. If there is a need to go back into a crunchy place, I'm doing it on my own, whether it's not the rest of them. Agree with this plan, it's uncontroversially. Their well-being is my top priority, and I'm not just about to drag them with me. So I tell her as much desperation and determination and desperation in her eyes. I can't let you do that, it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Get it, Belle. You're not going back to that mansion.
Oh, fuck. What was the other option? Wait a minute. It's a danger. I can't let you do that.
I can't let you do that, Belle.
They both mean the same thing. I'm trying to make sure I'm not, like, affecting too much. Load. Go. I don't want to redo shit. It's dangerous. I can't let you do that. I clicked that because I thought... They both mean the same thing, but it's the way his voice went. He went like, it's dangerous. I can't let you do that.
I can't let you do that, Belle.
Yeah.
Ash, the people living in that place now, they were with me during the open house. They have to know. They're in as much trouble as we are.
I know, but it's risky.
See, he says the same thing. He says the same thing, so I don't see a point. It's the way he worded it. Just straight away, it's dangerous. But this one says it too, so I'm gonna keep it like this.
We don't know what you might find in there. Or if you'll even find anything. What if you see her again? What if she goes after you? What are you going to do? For all we know, it might be a dead end. It's not worth it. To put yourself in harm's way like that.
She offers no response, not even the form of resistance, no further arguments like I came to expect from her. Uncharacteristic, just a silence that stretched far too thin till the air in the whole room grows heavy. In front of her, her hands still stay curled up, like it's holding on to everything she wishes to say but can't. I like to think that, yes, so to some extent, she understands, even if she does not entirely entirely agree with me. The demolished clear in her. Otherwise, her scroll wouldn't have deeper set to it. Her lips wouldn't be pressed in. The thin line of her hand would no longer be balled into a fist. She would have pushed that argument if she doesn't. And I know that she has no lack of things to say. Instead, she simply offers a nod and a questionment. And in that moment of boldness, perhaps in Solia, I reach out for her, taking her clenched fists in mine and drawing them close to me. She stuck in a breath, soft and sharp, but doesn't say anything, mostly watching as both my hands cradle hers. Conscious and mindful, as if it's the most precious thing I've held. Then again, maybe it is, along with everything I've yet to come through.
Stop that.
Are we gonna confess? Surprisingly, although the jester has started her, she yelps, allows to touch that as far too familiar and more than what I'm willing to give most.
You're going to hurt yourself if you keep doing that.
Gently, I unfold her fingers, flattering them each digitally against my palm. Her nails have already created small dents in her skin from how tightly she has held it close, a little more than she would have drawn blood. Deep as it is, smoothing the thumb over the tiny marks does nothing. But it's a small gesture we both find comfort in amidst this chaos, and all once the tension fills. Her expression softens, and the lines of her shoulders eases, and it's only after her lips carved up in a faint smile that I let go, giving her hand one last squeeze before returning it to her. Part of me wants to tell her, admit that exactly what I'm planning tonight. He's gonna tell her! What good will it do, though? I already told Zach one person is enough. Oh, Zach knew! Wait, Zach knows about my crush? Hell, simply letting someone in the plan makes me iffy. Broadening that circle and receiving too much would just cause another pointless concern. But someone has to be aware, at least where I'm heading off to, in case things don't plan out. Expect the worst, even if it's only intended to do a quick survey of the place. In my own words, risky. It's the best thing I simply leave it as it is for now. Isabella doesn't need to be burdened by another worry of my entire schemes entails. I stand up as soon as my footsteps shuffle from the next room. It's cantered slow and hesitant. Shortly, Rebecca comes into view, clenching her hands firmly in front of her and sporting the same unconcerned strain in her face. She casts me a curiosity look, then shifts a nervous one to Isabella, who studies her with an almost hopeful gleam in her eyes. That fight never did last long.
Belle, can we talk? Alone?
Her inspiration could not only come sooner, but it's all more glad for it. Whatever kind of friendship I share with the two, this remains something for only the two of them, much like my own with Zach. I'm the outsider, they don't need me here. It's all for the reason I need. Muttering an excuse and flashing Isabella a quick, knowing smile, I beat a haste exit out of the main lounge and leave them to mend things with their own. Aww. Before Isabella can say what she's been mulling over, before the last imploring glance as he directs my way forces me to change my mind, it's another lasting image that firmly etches itself in my memory, one that spurs the coincidence among other things. I just hope I won't regret what I've chosen for myself tonight. Okay. We are going to save it here and end it here. I think I was hoping to end it with this being the last one for Ashton, but I guess it's not, as it's already hit 2 hours already for this stream. So I'm gonna end it here. We'll have one more stream with Ashton, I think. I'm guessing by the timeline, as we only have one more day with Ashton. So I hope you have enjoyed. If you do have been enjoying this series, make sure to like it. It lets me know that you guys are enjoying it, and I'll be making more of it quicker than normal, like put 2 or I don't know, put it more ahead. Good. I do like the game. Even though there was a moment of the voices being overlapped with another storyline choice. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Until next time, I shall see you tomorrow where we play Overwatch. Good. Bye.